The second station that you're working with today is combining like terms in a two-step equation. So multi-step, but with combining like terms. You have a checklist here in the order in which you're supposed to do these steps to solve this equation. So starting with combining like terms, moving on to undoing addition or subtraction, and then finally the multiplication or division. So the very first thing I will do is draw a line down the middle to show that I'm keeping both sides balanced. And I'm going to use the strategy we talked about in class, how to identify the terms that I have that are like terms. So here I have z with a coefficient of 4, so I'm going to box that. And as I'm looking through my problem left to right, I see I have a 7, and I can't combine that with 4 times z. They're not like terms. If you think about it from the modeling, the 4z would have been 4 rectangles, and the 7 would have been 7 squares, and I can't combine 4 rectangles and 7 squares and call them the same shape. But I do have here a plus negative 2z. I'm going to box that. I can combine that with 4z. Notice how I also box the negative sign. That's really, really important so that you don't lose the negative when you're actually doing those operations. So I'm going to first simplify 4z plus negative 2z, which is 2z. I'm going to switch colors and shapes. So I'm going to draw a triangle around this positive plus 7, and then a triangle around this minus 9. Be careful with your integers and negative signs. So 7 minus 9 is negative 2. So on the left side, I'm left with 2 times z minus 2 is equal to 8. And I just took care of combining like terms. Let's try the strategy again with what I see and what I'll do. So let me just move the camera out of the way. So what I see, feel free to use your handout to do this as well when you do the practice problems. And what I'll do. So if I'm looking at the left side of the equation, I see that I am subtracting 2. And when I go to solve this equation, in order to undo that, to get z by itself, I'll add 2. I'll do the inverse operation. I also see that I'm multiplying z by 2. And so when I solve the equation, I'm going to do the opposite of multiply by 2, which is divide by 2. And I know I need to take care of the addition first and division second. So I'll start out by adding 2 to each side. I'm left with, on the left, 2z. The subtract 2 and add 2 cancel each other out. There's 0. And 8 plus 2 is 10. So I've taken care of the undoing addition or subtraction. And now I need to divide each side by 2. And so 2 divided by 2 is 1z, or just z. And 10 divided by 2 is 5. So z is equal to 5. And once you're finished with the video, you should do the sample problem that's got all the cutout strips. You're going to put that in order in which you would solve it, and then you're going to label each step with combining like terms, undoing addition or subtraction, undoing multiplication or division. And then there's the 2 practice problems on your capture sheet to try with your group. And the next station that you go to will be a little bit different from what we've talked about in class so far. It's variables on both sides.